stars. Yes, we are the stars. That's what we are. The big red kind that created the earth. That's why Hawaii got the best dirt. Thus, countless granules that form this temple I reside in called human. One people in the reflection of a nui nui. One love before colonization, before hate, greed, and desperation of wants that don't align with our original destination. Now for generations upon generations, war is relevant. Old ways getting lost, now only babies are innocent. Where our histories are now only myths, fairy tales, and legends. People forgot who we are, that we are made from the mystical heavens. Now we're scrapping over aina, money, power, and possessions, capitalism, economic warfare, and who in line to be the next president. Shit, even dead presidents, we still fighting. Art has become our form of expression, to release or to teach about our experiences, joys, and tribulations. We've adapted to many situations. That is not where we come from, though. That is not who we are. We're ancient. We're from before time. Remember, R, you're a star. Remember, R, you're a star, Faya say, to help you remember where you come from and who you are. Where we existed as royalty above all in the universe. Where our spirit moved harmoniously with the elements. Where our soul's purpose was life and more life. I am ancient, old-fashioned. Before this time, I am from creation. We are from creation.
Sweet. Love that. Especially the part we, not I. We.
Yes, sir.
What we got next? Empress Fire.
So actually, I'm gonna beat for this next one, but I'm gonna just acapella it real quick, and then the next song, brother, we go turn one.
All right.
Catch us multiplying, never dividing. Frontline Kanaka's and ducking, a hiding to infinity. We riding, Zion warriors, we styling. No doubt about it, we flying. High end status, I ain't crying. Empress General ready, I ain't lying. Hawaiian warfare, my people are dying. So we bring the fire without even trying, we just do it. Gideon suit check, we gon' slew it. In it to win it, never in it to lose it. Rastafari, Selassie, I rule it. Fire bust right through it and slew it. Call us out and we never refuse it. Kill them with the sound, kill them with the music. Kill them with the sound, kill them with the music. Kill them with the sound, kill them with the music. Word, sound, power. Okay? Remember to raise up your youths right, raise them in our culture, never let them forget where we come from and who we are. Yeah, the wise kahuna ways them come to take it away. Cut the river flow and fence off mid-valley. Like a thief in the night on a savage rampage. Build a bridge, mason block on everything we cultivate. So we salute the sun, ulumana all day long. Cultivate the power, fire culture steady bun. Sing a reggae song, now your bingy never done. Inspire youth to grow up, beat the kaloma. Miss say each one teach one, son teach it to him son. Kahuna lapa out from the day that he born. Pond sacred land, build up man and woman. This helmet pick me grow up on Fire Island. Remember art in everything that you do when you deal with Mother Nature and you talk to your crew. Bring back the culture, never forget your roots. Since the ancient days, keep it your love for truth. Check Babylon, yeah, I'm not afraid of them. Yeah, them come up, step, try, test the lion then. Keep it cool, keep it calm, that isn't ponder rhythm. Word, sound, power, I for kill him, ayy. Word, sound, power, I for kill him. Yeah, I'm an original gangster from the ancient days. That's why my heart stays true to the motherfucking game. Back before the white man ship came to take us as slaves, we was the realest, the baddest, the real home of the brave. Everything for the future, it was set, it was paved. We don't need no missionary to say our culture they saved. They plotted genocide to drive my people to the grave. But ever since we were warrior made. Mahalo, you guys. I appreciate you guys' energy and time. So I got one more, just real quick one. It's actually a cappella from a woman that I look up to. Her name is Queen Ifrica. And, you know, in everything everybody was going through in Palestine, she wrote this little song. And I feel like, you know, as Hawaiians, we connect and we relate to it in many ways. So here we go. Leave us alone and let us be. We're fed up with society. With violence you rule the world, killing little boys and girls. Now I can tell you there will be a fire for all the wickedness that you desire, shedding the blood of the innocent. World War III is evident. Why are we killing each other off all of the time? Wait at the stop sign before you drop another bomb. Just think of all the many lives you're gonna be taking. Only God alone can give us breath. Do you wanna pay the price of sin? Seize all war, yeah, we are calling. Seize all war, yes, we are calling. Aloha, mahalo, everybody.
Show her some love. Give it up for Fire Empress Stone, everybody. Was that wonderful? How's everybody doing? Maikai? Yeah? Can I get a yes, sir? Can I get a yes, sir? All right. Can I get aloha aina? Aloha aina. Can I get ola I kawai? Ola I kawai. Ku kia I mauna. Ku kia I mauna. Ew! 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 Love you guys. Love you, bye. Right on, everybody. So our next presenter, our next person to come up, our next Kanaka to come up to show, inspire everybody here today. The one, the only Kumuhina. Everybody. Pai pai lumiao, everybody.
If anybody wants to sing for the long way, we'll stop with that.
Velo malo aku hai aloha ikanu o ka levala nila ai maluhi anona kaua kau e o Hawaii ku aina aloha e ku lahui e vivo ole ku kanaka e oni pa amau ke o ka aina hai ka pono ua mau ke o ka aina I ka pono e velo maolo aku hai aloha
Raise them up if you guys got it.
I ka nu'u ka levala nila ai maluhi anona kaua kau e o Hawaii ku aina aloha e ku lahui e vivo ole ku kanaka e oni pa amau ua mau ke o ka aina I ka pono. Ua mau ke o ka aina I ka pono. Ua mau ke o ka aina I ka pono. Ua mau ke o ka aina I ka pono. Mahalo, mahalo. Ano ai ke aloha e ka la hui. Aloha. Mai ka hikina ka la I hae hae. A ka velona ka la I le hua mani I hau. Ke aloha o ka aina ia ka koa pau. Ka mahalo anui ia o kou. E nā koa aloha aina. E nā hoa aloha aina. Mahalo anui ia o kou, no ko o kou. Uhaile ana mai. Ke kipa ana mai. I launa noho I kākou. Aloha he alo ma anei. I ke alo ka haleali'i o Iulai. I cannot offer you words to supersede the greatness of our other leadership that has come to the microphone earlier. But perhaps if I might offer you this. I get asked to speak at many different things nowadays, and I have to ask myself, am I saying something that's inspiring the next person? Am I saying something that is of value and of worth to you, the person, the people that are giving of your time and your mind? You're allowing me free rent time in the real estate of your mind and your heart and possibly even your spirit. So since you are allowing me to dwell within your thoughts for the next little while, I would like to call everyone's attention to the following things. First and foremost, to understand today, which is why we all came, to understand today and the place that it holds within us. Mind, heart, and spirit. Those three places. Not just in the heart. Not just in the mind. You have to anchor it and align it all together. But in order to achieve any real, true place of value, you must consider where is your piko. Now, for those whom are ethnic Kanaka, it might mean one thing for you. For those whom might not even be ethnically Kanaka, but avail yourselves to the cause of our islands and our Kanaka Oiwi. My kuno to all of you and my appreciation to all of you, because when we know where our piko is or where we choose to root it to, especially for those who come from away, if you choose to acknowledge that you too will honor the understandings of Kanaka, then we might have a little bit of wherewithal to join ourselves together. So Hawaii is and shall forevermore be my main land. Eo. I know I have friends here that are my friends on social media. So if you're one of my friends, mahalo for putting up with me, always posting about this, but I'm going to use this platform, again, since you're giving me free rent time to exist in the penthouse of your mind. Free rent, thank you so much. Don't evict me just yet. Mainland. To my fellow Kanaka and to everyone else here of all other ethnicities. If you are here today to honor our high Hawaii, if you are here today to honor the names that are placed on the placards that have been lovingly placed here on the grounds of the palace, if you are here to honor all that comes with today, If you are here to commemorate the loss of our independence as we knew it with the declaration by those American insurgents on July 4th, 1894, then you should know where your mainland is. And when referring to it, if you are mentally, consciously, and in a cognizant manner going to address it as so, then maybe there is congruence. You guys know what that means, right? Means that everything line up. Everything falls in a particular order that is logical and makes sense. That means that there is congruence in why you are sitting here, or why you attended, or why you participated here on the steps. I hear so many Kanaka. Sorry, I think this is a little bit of a slight soapbox kind, scold the people kind. Sorry, I didn't realize it was going that way, but since you gave me free rent, I'm gonna go there. It baffles me to hear and see my fellow Kanaka. I'm proud to be Hawaiian. Yeah, go and fly the Hawaiian flag. Yeah, get the flag hanging off the back of my truck. Yeah, get the flag hanging outside my house. Yeah, get the flag on top of you. Hey, I'm wearing the flag. This is in my head all day, every day. But I need it to be in your head all day, every day too. Otherwise, what you guys doing sitting over here? You guys can go do something else. I need people to be conscious because it grows very weary on my heart. When I hear, oh, we're going mainland. What? Where are you going? Oh, we're going somewhere in LA, San Francisco, Las Vegas, and who knows, somewhere on Moku, somewhere on the continental United States, out of which our native brothers and sisters from over there call Great Turtle Island. Think about what it is that we say, Ikaolelo no keola, Ikaolelo no kamake mana kaleo. And if there is power in our words, then let us empower our words to empower us. Because each and every time, okay, well, since there's no other type of flag, I'm just gonna go like this. So every time we wave in the Hawaiian flag, yes! Every time we wave in the Hawaiian flag, see the Hawaiian flag over there, waving, waving, waving. Poho, ho'opo manawa. Because I see it, and I hear you, and then all of a sudden, oh, we're going mainland tomorrow. What? Come on. Let's go. This is 2023. You know, as we get older, I understand. I'm 51 now. I'm no longer of the 20-something, the 30-something, the 40-something. So, you know, learning new things sometimes takes me one more time, a little bit more, and hanaho one more time. But this is 2023, people. We've had many, many times here in front of the palace. To what use is it to us if we are not conscious about the power of our words and empowering? Where exactly is our piko and where is our heart and spirit going to be? If your piko is not from here, ole pilikia. But where is your spirit going? Where is it availing itself? So think, everyone, and remember, every time you say you're going to travel and you're going to go to the continent to 48, then call the elephant what it is. And don't try to endear that land any more to us than it need to be. We can be friends with people in other countries, but we don't have to try to claim their land and make it ours. Mainland. Oh, you guys Kanaka over here that gonna wear the high Hawaii, and you go say mainland. Sha! Heva. Our people, and it starts with us. Okay, sorry. Where's my non-ethnic Hawaiians in the audience? Please be proud. I love you guys, you know. Especially I see some of you guys right here. I'm gonna kuno to you today. I kuno because, you know what? The non-ethnic Hawaiians that I see in the audience, I know where their heart and spirit is. And they're always rolling with us. They're always giving of their time. They give more of their time than plenty of our own people. So I'm going to get on a soapbox for, I don't know why I'm channeling this. Mahalo. I'm sorry. Forgive me, everyone. I had a whole nother manao, but this just keeps coming. My bad. Sorry. Sorry, not sorry. We Kanaka have to do a better job. We Kanaka must speak from a place of power. And therefore, we must conduct ourselves and make our decisions from a place of that internal sovereignty that is internally ours and integrally a part of who we are. Because the external is simply the external. It doesn't matter whether I'm wearing this dress today or any other color. This is inside. So much so that I can never ever refer to the mainland as anything else except my beloved Hawaii. And so if you're here, I trust that you are of that same caliber and that same mindset. Is there anybody here not? Okay, great. Now, since I still have the mic, do you want me to shut up or you like me keep going? Keep going. Okay. All right, I'm going to hold them out. This is why I can come up here and say this, because as I posted on my social media, I had to count and think back to the years, and I have to call out Uncle Kekuni, and to all of our Aloha Aina patriots who joined our kupuna on the other side. I love you and mahalo. Mahalo nui. To my kumuhauna nike. Mahalo. I could not figure it out until this past maybe 2 years that I've been asked to speak. But I finally made the connection of what Well, I'll talk to you after that over there, but you know, we'll see if you pass the selection process. Thank you so much. You guys want to go up and up for best speech of the day? Best speech of the day! All right, so kulana and kulana. Kulana. I told you now what kulana is, but kulana, everybody knows how to say, oh, your duty, your obligation, your responsibility, but nobody's acknowledging your kulana. What's your role? And nobody actually pays attention to how does your role change depending on where you are and who you're with. So when people say you better know your role, I know certain audiences, I know my role. When I roll around with some of these people over here, I don't have to be over here hog cheesing the microphone except for now, since you gave it to me. And they're the ones that are allowing me free rent. Thank you so much. But I know my kulana. So coming here today, my kulana in the community, I said, okay, Iulai, you gotta be kubuhina and you gotta go out and hopefully inspire the people. You gotta go and show support for this event because this event is important. This event reminds us of the salient truths of our history. This event reminds us to be empowered by the enlightenment that is afforded to us by the brevity of this day and why we are here. So as an enlightened Kanaka, my kulana was to come dressed appropriately and to hopefully inspire you. And this was my kuleana. So now I look to you, my fellow Kanaka and other friends, but especially my fellow Kanaka. I'm not going to get on the non-Kanaka because their role is watch, listen, take it in. I'm going to get on top of all of you, the rest of my fellow Kanaka. Yeah, here is your day. So when you walk away from here today, on the daily, think to yourself, who are you in that moment? And what is your duty? What is your role at that time? When you're at home, what's your role? When you're at work, what's your role? When you're in the community, what's your role? That will help you to define your kuleana. So that way, when things are in a different alignment, you remember on days like this, you think to yourself, Hawaii is my mainland, and while the rest of the Americans that live here in our islands, they're going to celebrate what they're going to celebrate. But we cannot ever lose sight of our history. We cannot ever lose sight of who we are. And if we're going to be waving these flags, or even wearing it, or you get them on top of your headband, your hat, your sleeve, your shorts, get them on top of your vest. Don't make it poho by wearing it, because that's all outside decoration. Inside, where is your piko? Where is your mainland? Who are you? What is your role? And what is your responsibility? Ovai oe, ovai hakau, hakou kulana, he hakau mau kuleana. Ke la no ka manao no ke la no ko mahalo anui a oko, mahalo no ko oko ho manawa nui, mahalo for giving me free rent, mahalo for letting me rant and do all of those things. O ke aloha no ka aina ya oko, aloha nui, aloha.
Pai ni makako, everybody. Kuhai nani e mau kona velo ana.
My puina, kulana and kuleana. Hikinoa? All right, my partner, my kalani. What we got, brother?
We still have a few more speakers today, so don't go away too far. We have Star Kalahiki, which will be performing very shortly, so stick around. We have a couple more music guests. But right now I want to introduce, before I introduce our next pair to present today, I just want to take the time to make a couple of announcements about Kala Ho'i Ho'i, a Hawaiian Sovereignty Restoration Day being celebrated throughout all of July. For those of you guys who haven't heard already, you can find more information on our Instagram or Facebook accounts, including our website at laho'ihoi'ea.org. We're very excited this year to have several film screenings taking place right down the road at Iulai, the Supreme Courtroom. In 1993, there was this amazing event that took place called the Kanaka Maoli Tribunal. And it essentially charged the United States of America with several crimes, one of which being the illegal occupation of Hawaii. And so, at Iulai, we encourage everybody to come down for the official showing of the Kanaka Maoli Tribunal, which was recorded by Namaka Oka'aina many, many years ago, and to stick around for a special panel discussion with John Osorio, with Kalekoa Ka'eo, with Joan Lander, with Mai Van Lam, and many people who are involved with that initial movement. So on July 12th, I encourage you guys to come on down to the Supreme Court building to enjoy that event with us. On the 19th, you guys may have already known that this year we honor, or every year we honor a new Aloha Aina warrior, somebody who has done something incredibly important in pushing and driving Hawaiian independence forward. And this year we selected Pu'uhonua Bumpy Kanahele, who has been a staunch occupationist and who has taken theory and put it into practice. So today, this year I should say, we honor his work, and he has selected this year to be honored along with him, one of the people from the nation of Hawaii, uncle that I'm looking forward to learning more about, but who was very critical at the occupation at Kaupo, whose name is Uncle Iulai Ka'ava. On the 19th of July, we invite you back to the Supreme Court House for a special presentation by the nation of Hawaii and Bumpy Kanahele. Not to be outdone, we have a very important panel discussion taking place at Kauai on July 15th, as our High Hawaii Hina explained earlier, the importance and the mana necessary that is drawn from our mahui. I didn't make that word up.
What?
Everybody say mahui.
What is that?
One more time, mahui. And I promise, I never make them up. But we saw the mahui in force over at the Mauna shutting down freeways. And so here at Kalahoi Ho'i'ea, we have also embraced a greater consciousness of who we are as people. So last year, in 2022, we actually celebrated our first Mahu honorees, one of which you already heard from, Miss Kumu Hinale Moana Wong, Paipali Makako, and she was honored last year with Kauai Iki Olores from the Kauai Ohana. Big round of applause for her. July 15th, there'll be an important discussion panel held at Vai Collective talking about the importance of Kuana Ike Mahu. That is, really? That is the consciousness of our multifaceted identities. It's the best I can probably do. But if you want to learn more about the event called Kuka Kiki, it is a panel taking place on July 15th over at Vai. July 26th, again at Vai, we have a special presentation by Andre Perez, who will be hosting a showcase by Hui Kalai Ki'i o Kupa Ika, who will be sharing some tools, sharing some theory, and some carving over the last several years. July 28th, we have several events going on. I want to invite you guys to Next Door Nightclub. Any party people in the house? Oh.
Thank you.
For those who like the Waikolohe, we invite you over July 28th to Next Door Nightclub, where we feature the 6th or 7th annual celebration of Aha Mele'ea. That is the Hawaiian Liberation Concert. We invite you guys to come check it out. We're featuring Naho Ku Hano Hano Award winners. Hano Hano, Maile, Ihilani, who will be joining us very shortly. So come down, celebrate with us, and we got some of our friends from Kapu System who will be back in action. Finally, on July 28th through the 29th, calling all Kane. Raise your hand if you're Kane, you live on the west side. If you're living on the west side and you're interested in our Malo Monologues, that is a men's conference talking about men identity, we encourage you to join Kalekoa Ka'eo, Kalehua Crew, and many more guests over at Kawaihono Okana'awa on July 28th and 29th to talk about Manakane. Not to be forgotten, on the 29th, please go visit Pohukaina for the official celebration of Kalaho'iho'ia in Waianae. And on July 30th, finally, gang, make sure you save enough energy to spend time with us at Thomas Square from 10 o'clock to 6 o'clock. Free music, free fun, free education, and lots of kanakas. So come down and check us out. Now, without further ado, mahalo for your patience and your attention. I want to bring to the stage our next presenter, who is going to be speaking on behalf of Women Voices, Women Speak. They just had a chance to go down to the Philippines and present, so we're interested to hear some of her feedback. Ihilani, who is coming up to the stage very shortly, was also honored with an award for her work as a MC and an educational platform called Ho'okupu Collective. Just won their very first Nahoku Hano Hano Award winner. So big round of applause, everybody. Let's give it up for Ihilani Lasconia.
Aloha kako, wa'o ka Ihilani Ipani Lasconia. No, waimanalo mai au. We all know where the best speech was. So this is not an act to follow. I'm just building off of the kulana that was given before. So mahalo. I was asked by Kumu Imai to share a little bit about my experience going to the Philippines as a part of Women's Voices, Women Speak, and I also represent Affirm Hawaii, which is a transnational feminist org. And it's a pretty cool org. So like Kumu Hina was saying, we can't just have sovereignty be a feeling. We can't just feel good to be Hawaiian and wave our high Hawaii. It's something that we must live every day. And part of that is understanding that just because we declare being sovereign doesn't mean that we're not still internally colonized or occupied in our minds and in our bodies.
Thank you so much.
Got you, girl, got you.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so one of the ways that we can think about this is understanding how we are so inundated with our own colonization and Americanization that we need to come to terms with the truth that as Hawaiians living in Hawaii, if you went to school here, if you're a product of the DOE or private schools as well, we don't know a lot about the rest of the world. We don't. And I feel like even though I'm going to school and I'm in college, there's so much that I have yet to learn. So something that I want to talk about today is when I went to the Philippines, we talked about July 4th, 1946. And this day means something entirely different to folks in the Philippines. How many folks know what July 4th is in the Philippines? Okay, cool, that's okay, I'm gonna teach you. Oh, I see one hand. I got you. And so if you didn't know, July 4th, 1946 is the Philippine Independence Day, or the day that the Philippines celebrates its liberation from the United States of America.
Hey.
Ayo. But we can clap for that. And if you're Hawaiian, there's a good chance you're Filipino too, just like me. So we have to learn about our shared political histories and cultural histories because they're so intertwined. And something that I've learned while being in the Philippines is that I have to want their sovereignty and their independence just as badly as I want our own. If we want to see a free and independent Hawaii, we have to be with our sisters and brothers and cousins in Guahan as well, in Palestine. We have to stand with folks in the Mariana Islands. We have to think about our sovereignty as not just individualistic. It's good that we have all these treaties, and it's good that we have international diplomacy, but it doesn't mean that because other countries and places that are occupied have those, doesn't mean that they aren't entitled to their own independence as well. And so thinking about sovereignty in different ways, something that I thought about and imagined is what would Hawaii be if we are deoccupied tomorrow? And so looking back and reflecting on my experiences in the Philippines, although they're an independent country that has been liberated from American colonization, from the statist perspective, the ills of colonialism are still ever present. And it's not to shame what's going on in the Philippines or Filipinos living there, because it's something that Filipino organizers have talked about with us, and it's an ongoing conversation. So even though the Philippines is sovereign, the United States military has 10 times as many bases in the Philippines than the own Philippine Army does. Patriarchy, something that we need to talk about in our lahui, is something that is still present. Homophobia, transphobia, it's still very, very present. So what good would it be for us to be a deoccupied country and a sovereign people if our minds and our bodies are still colonized? Why would we want to internalize the harms of our occupiers? So what I'm saying here today is don't let sovereignty be just a feeling. Don't just declare that you're sovereign because it's a process of decolonization. Mapopo, following me? Awesome. Also understanding as well that we can't just gather, I know I said it earlier today, we can't just gather on these days to remember and to reflect, but we need to build. In the words of Kumu Hanani K. Trask, we must be political. Cultural practitioners must be political, and political practitioners must also be cultural. It's good for us to have this feeling, but if there's one thing that I leave you folks with today, it's we must have a political organizing base. Being Hawaiian is more than just a feeling, it's a political act and one that we must take up every single day of our lives. So with that being said, I'm going to share some jams with you folks, with Kowila Mahi, mahalo mahalo. And so the song that I'll be sharing with you next was written about, oh wow, it's a shame, it's almost 2 years ago, and it was written at the first protest and sign waving of Ole Ikawai in December when we found out that the military leaked thousands of gallons of jet fuel into our aquifer. So we needed to come up with something quick, and so the hook for this song is drip, drop, the military we got to stop. All right, let me hear it. Drip, drop, the military we got to stop. Drip, drop, the military we got to stop. Okay, so we're gonna run the trap. I'm gonna take off my popale and we're gonna let it rip. Drip, drop, the military we got to stop. 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 Now let me take you back to 1943. The year that started this catastrophe, when the fuel tanks were created by the military and Roosevelt was the president. Franklin D. the 20 tanks in total. They're 100 feet wide, but they're so underground they'll never see the sky. They rest right above our largest aquifer, but this Aina is our mother. Get your hands off of her and now drip, drop. Yeah, the military we got to stop. Drip, drop. The military we got to stop. 2 more times now. Drip, drop. The military we got to stop. Drip, drop. The military we got to stop. This is only what we do. No, imagine what we don't know. What a crisis is a time bomb that's bound to explode. The U.S. is nothing more than a war machine with capitalism reigns supreme. Matter of fact, HKT said it best: when the U.S. goes to war, Hawaiians lose their land. Just look at what they did to our sacred Moku. This Aina is our mother. They did nothing but abuse us. So drip, drop. The military we got to stop. 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 And now our water's being poisoned by Uncle Sam. This is imperialism's master plan. So hands off our waters, hands off our daughters. We are not just sheep, we can take us out to slaughter. But keep in mind, the worst is not over. There's oil still leaking from the U.S. Arizona. It's been for 80 years, right into Pukulova. So we will not rest until this fight is over. So drip, drop. The military we got to stop. 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 When I say land, you say back. Land, 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 land. When I say fight, you say back. Fight, 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 fight. Yeah, mahalo. Look on the mic. Drain the tanks. Get the U.S. military out of our islands. And don't just send the U.S. military to somewhere else in the South Pacific. That's no good either. We need to get rid of the U.S. military completely and think about our sovereignties as one. Think about sovereignty as not just a political state, but something that we live. One of my kumu, Noinai Silva, uses the word bodily autonomy and self-determination, understanding that sovereignty has many state-centric notions, has many imperial notions is rooted in white supremacy. So understanding that we can live sovereignty in a different way, one that isn't just about the West's recognition of us, but us seeing each other as independent people, whether it's in our Pai'aina, on Mokupuni, or across the world. Right. So this next track that I have, the hook goes, 1 finger forward, 3 back. When you blame the oppressed, not oppressor, you become the bayonet. And so how many of you folks are familiar with the bayonet constitution? Awesome, awesome, awesome. So this metaphor of the bayonet, and I talked about it a little bit before, but it's understanding that we can be sovereign, we can be free, we can fight for our independence while still having the ability to replicate the harms of our colonizers and our occupiers. And one of the biggest ways that we internalize that harm can be in our anti-Micronesian sentiment and our anti-Black sentiment. In the words of Joy Lehuanani Edamoto, why would we betray ourselves, the deepest solidarity that we could ever have with folks who share the same struggle? And it's been something that I spent a lot of time learning about and working through, and also realizing and internalizing just the police state that exists in Hawaii. It's not just this metaphorical illusion, but it's internalized and operationalized in how the state of Hawaii exists and how police brutality exists. And although people will say the context in which the police operates in Hawaii is largely different from the continent, we have to know where they got the blueprint from, and we have to connect these histories and genealogies of harm. And so this is my mana'o, this is my oi'iwa, this is my truth. But understanding that if we want to truly be a free people, we have to work on that internalized self-hatred that we have, not to just ourselves, but those we should be in solidarity with. Run the track.
That was used for our own demise, disguised as Blue Lives Matter, and we paid the price when we align ourselves with white supremacy. There's nothing Hawaiian about HBD. I have auntie and uncles 10 plus years they serve, because that's exactly how white supremacy works. They get brown people to put brown people in dirt, then they keep their hands clean by saying this is absurd. And they say he's got a record, but have you seen their rap sheet? They've been killing us, it's called Survivors Massy. They kick us off our land, then they confiscate our tents and sell all that we have at a private auction. The system's not broken, it's just how it functions, and it'll keep on working unless we question something like, why are we in poverty in the first place? Will they have robot dogs and $1 million court case to investigate their own corruption? I'm trying to add it up, but it amounts to nothing. So one finger forward, 3 back. When you blame the oppressed, not oppressor, you become the bayonet. One finger forward, 3 back. When you blame the oppressed, not oppressor, you become the bayonet. Mana doesn't come from a gun, but how well you malama the people that have none. So when you see that splintered paddle on their badge, remember, the system's not like the ones that they had. It's that same anti-blackness that made you hate yourself. The West wants us to look like them, and for their traps we fail. Why we betraying those who remind us how to sail? This ocean is us together, we cannot fail. History repeats itself, and it's our revolution. Do you really want to be the one that's holding back the movement? The pendulum swings, but rarely in our favor. I don't need another brown skin white savior. So when you say back the blues, don't forget the red, white stars and stripes that are suffocating you. So when you say back the blues, don't forget the red, white stars and stripes that are suffocating you. One finger forward, 3 back. When you blame the oppressed, not oppressor, you become the bayonet. One finger forward, 3 back. When you blame the oppressed, not oppressor, you become the bayonet. Mahalo, mahalo. Mahalo, mahalo for listening. In the words of Kumuhananike, it is an honor to speak to you today because it took my entire life to be here. And I got plenty more life to give. And so with that being said, I'd like to welcome up one of my bestest friends, Kawila Mahi. He's gonna do some music for you folks, and we're gonna do a song called Ea. All right. Queuing up the beat, I gotta improv now. We are in Honolulu, but it feels like we're in Nanakuli.
Can I get an AO? Can I get an AO? Can I get a yes sir? Yeah, you. I'm from Waimanalo, but my dad's from Nanakule and my parents met on the city bus. So you know what that means? I'm indestructible. Yeah, I got plenty more jokes. You know my dad. Yeah, as we're queuing up the beat, I guess something else that I'd like to talk to you about today is understanding and internalizing and believing that we can't just commodify our own culture. You can be Kanaka Maoli and still be exploitative. Give me the mic? Okay, cool. So understanding and realizing that as Kanaka, we can also be exploitative of our own people. Understanding that capitalism is one of the deepest ills that harms us. And like imperialism, like colonization, kind of like the same thing, capitalism seeks to reinvent itself to continue to exist, you know? So while it's important for us to think about sovereignty, one of the ways that we should think about sovereignty is in economic independence. And something that I've been seeing within the past couple years is pushing Kanaka to have a purely entrepreneurial spirit. That if you can push your own brand as someone who's Hawaiian, let it be an artist or an organizer or someone who makes products, then that's good enough. And while it's important for us to adorn the own lole and designs of our people, knowing that ultimately, if we're still bound to capitalism, poho, what for? Lose money. We have to think about sovereignty in different ways. You know, there was a time and an age before Americanization, there was a time and age before capitalism, and there will sure be a time after. If you're 24 years old like I am, you've experienced 10% of the history of the United States. Think about that. So short. You know, the track on, mahalo. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking about that. My point on, don't forget, we have to think about sovereignty in a different way. We can't girl boss or capitalism ourselves into sovereignty. And there's different ways that colonialism and imperialism can continue to exist. Just because it has the flavor of something being Hawaiian doesn't mean it's not foundationally colonial or from our colonizers, you know? Don't let this movement become a brand. Don't let our artists or our organizers just be faces of a movement, because it's gonna be all of us or none of us. Mahalo. All right, Kawila.
They didn't like Hello.
I knew I was built for this shit.
We was built for this,
I know
y'all.
that I came equipped to weather any storm.
We could weather any storm.
Yeah. I know that I was built for this shit. I know that I came equipped to weather any storm. So please don't start to doubt me now.
We weather the storms for sovereignty. With stardust, bodily autonomy. Enacting traditional economies. Aloha, Aina's patriot. That's synonym for patriarchy. We have Pelina, Aina, Prima, Naaki. The air we want is something older, like a cool summer breeze on the global warmer. Indigenous sadness, we shoulder the boulders. So before you study sovereign nations, before you enjoy songs and libations, we gotta decolonize Lahui restoration, abolish colonial cortex occupations, rise and flood the streets, precipitation. Cause air to every aspiration and respiration is pleasing, and thinking of Kupuna for the liberation.
I knew I was built for this shit.
We was built for this,
I know
y'all.
that I came equipped to weather any storm.
Weather any storm.
Yeah. I know that I was built for this shit.
We was built for this.
I know that I came equipped to weather
Yeah.
any storm. So please don't start to doubt me now.
Returns to the function, slyly reproduction. The roundest at the states, the only ethical consumption. Deconstructing these assumptions that power's only in the parliament. Yeah, they may have jacked the keys, but we all know who's fathering. Leo Mano, got more teeth than the UN. No semantics, simply just the facts that I'm spewing. Sovereignty and blood and ink. Good thing we got both. We gotta use two hands to overturn the overthrow. Them got democracy, we got survive. Ends of the day, it's under the same high. Why would we rise? Not at all, if not not together. 7 generations of a storm is what we weather. It's not on doom and gloom though, cause we know whose hand the truth holds. And if you know your history, your fate wouldn't be a mystery. Unmask the tactics of illegal occupation, the one in our minds and the one that's on our
I
nation.
know I was built for this shit.
We was built for this,
I know
y'all.
that I came equipped to weather any storm. Yeah, yeah. I know that I was built for this shit. I know that I came equipped to weather any storm. So please don't start to doubt me now.
Fight, keep making air, make a makani.
These are the bars that got free by Iulai. Mauli Avalilo Ke'ea Po Makani.
Guided through the storm by the path to free our country. Ke'ea on the Hivai, ke'ea fish water. Ke'ea on the
Ke'ea Oki Wanaka. He Hoyuni. The air of humans is wind.
Ke'ea kahua, ke'kanaka. Ke'ea earth is the people. Ke'ea kahua.
Ke'ea Oki Moku. He Hoyuni. The air of a boat is a steering blade.
Ke'ea the Hawaiian archipelago is the government.
The air of the Hawaiian archipelago is the people. Ke'ea Oko Hawaii I. Oya Kanoho Ahupua.
I know I was built for this shit.
We was built for this,
I know
y'all.
that I came equipped to weather any storm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I know that I was built for this shit. I know that I came equipped to weather any storm. So please don't start to doubt me now.
Mahalo, mahalo, mahalo.
Okay. Mahalo Ihilani. Pili na mai ki aloha ya kākou pakahia pau. Wano o Kawila Mahi. I'm Kawila. I do rap and other kind of things. This mele that you heard right now, we talk about ea throughout the mele. And ea is this traditional form or this traditional identity for sovereignty. But the last lines that you hear where me and Ihilani go back and forth is actually from a really famous speech given by Davida Kahale in the back of Manoa Valley as the rain was pouring down in 1873. So this is 30 years after Laho'i Ho'i Ea and the restoration of Ea for our Lahui Hawaii. And this speech given by Davida Kahale recites all these other forms of Ea, all these other forms of sovereignty. And so that's one of the things that we wanted to share with this mele so that other people know Ke'e o ka makani, he kanaka, ke'e o ka honua, he makani. All these relationships, all these pilina that come with the aina and the pilina from kanaka to aina, and vice versa. Okay. Yeah, this song's about Konane, one of my favorite games. Small kind of slow in the beginning. This is something you ain't used to, y'all. Think twice if you gotta. Life is a game of Konane, mahua hine inkane. Kukulu I pale, ka I kukulu I hale. Ke kai ko o kamoana kunihi, kamauna oina oia wai ale ale. I lea ka pā Konane, na uka upena, e ho ini. Puka kini kini ahe, puka e puka ai. O ka ili lani ili awa ili pa'i ma ke ili hia. Kai po'i ako I ka ho o pili kia. Got filled up with cool puna ideas to let go of these colonial fears. Vai ho I ka hila hila. If you plotting your next move, I suggest you move into the pole so remote that you lose control to be in tune with the moon. Pacha aha now, the time's coming soon. This is something you ain't used to, y'all.
Best
the city, rising like Makalita and getting past like it was graffiti. Moga mo'olela of Lono's honey. Kona ne champion kaikilana mai kaulana aina okana ika hopo aina manu nuku oh. The jealous people spread rumors powder. All they wanna do is take away her power. Lo'o kaikilani ika pepehi. Mauko lako pihi ika pihi. Ahupua aela kela lono la remember her name. Anytime you touch the pie, it's a Kona move from Kunane. Kaua ika hana vaile. Kaukaha air.
This is something you used to. So think twice if you have to. This is something you used to. Think twice if you have to. 'Cause your next move gotta be your best move.
E ka paua, e ka lani motu, e ka ikilani, e pili kuki pili, Ahupua, e pili ka hili, e ha hauatu, these are all kua in the ili, and puhatu. He's the first ili that gotta go, so let it flow. My yuka ikai tryna be free, like Navai e ha. Let it coast like the winds on Haleakala. Oke Kona ne ke kahi lea ho'o leva ika pea o pea makavalu. E kālai atu iki ola me ke koi ula a me ke ala ula. Oke kui ke la o ka holo ke ia. Moe ka ua ni ole ka luna. Hapala ke kea naka ele ka ai. Naka koe lana kila e mai e ai.
This is something you
This is something you
ain't used to.
ain't used to, y'all.
So think twice if
Think twice if
you have to.
you gotta.
This is something you ain't used to.
Yeah.
Think twice if you have to.
'Cause your next move gotta be your best move. Alright, man. So the last verse you heard is actually really important to the game Konane. Basically it's setting up the board. There's a chant that comes with the game. One of the best players ever, her name is Kaikilani. And actually Lonoika Makahiki, the one that started the Makahiki circuit, he went and actually killed Kaikilani because what was happening was everybody was spreading rumors about her, sleeping around with everybody else. He got jealous because she was also the #1 Konane player, never been defeated, and so he murdered her, and that was his partner. But because of this, we got the Makahiki circuit, which actually celebrates the time of fertility to honor Kaikilani. And for this last melee, I'm gonna need audience participation. And so, who here knows what the word Ola means? Anybody here knows what it means? What does Ola mean? Life. Good. What does it mean in a melee? Does anybody know what it means in a melee? A little bit different. Okay. In a melee, Ola means to incite life. So when you talking, or what I want everybody to do is scream Ola 3 times after I do a little bit thing, okay? And so when we're going back and forth, what I'm asking you to do is incite all the energy and incite all the life around you that you need to perpetuate our lahui, to perpetuate our ancestral knowledge, to perpetuate our culture into perpetuity, okay? And so we're gonna do one practice round, and it'll be like, and if I'm louder than you guys, lose money. Okay. So practice round. Kinia kua, ola, ola, ola. Okay. Mauli Hawaii, ola, ola, ola. Ivi kupuna, ola, ola, ola. Lahui Hawaii, ola, ola, ola. Yeah, that's cool. Hold on. A man with a dream with plans to make. I don't want.
Oh no, thanks, almost.
Roger. Key and Kua, old and new. We need all of y'all to come on through. Uncle Sam and the settler crews trying to say that we out here acting a fool. No message in a bottle, yeah, all I swallow. Inu ke kanoa, till I hit the bottom. When they come to call a woman model, everybody follow like an IG model. They wanna hollow, then the O of a people. Live life backwards, lasting to evil. No, we grow, kupuna though. We the next generation, kupuna sequel. We ain't the crime, we the evidence. Factory parents without reverence. Fancy cars and white houses, decadent. Cause they got the green guy, their presidents. Kenya Kua, Ola, 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 Mauli Hawaii. Ola, 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 Iwi Kupuna. Ola, 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 Hui Hawaii. Ola, Ola, Ola. Ahupua mai kalahiki a kalakau. Kiri me ka muli kumupu I ka velo. Kua ke awa kua mena kua. Hune ho'ololo I ka ula leo ma ke pule. Kimi o ke kua, e ka lehu o ke kua, e ka lalani o ke kua. Ka pui o kuhu e manamo o ke kua. E ho e ala e oni e eu. Kulani ha ko e hupa. Iulu no ko pula pula. E nana mai I ko pua. No hona lupa lupa I ke alo na hulu kupuna. Hanau mai I ka po. Puka, mai leila mai ka oia I o mana na akua ka hiko. Ka hiko ka aina I ta lehu ka naka. Hui ka aba a lava na maka. E ko apua kapu. Ai ho o maneo, ai ho o vau. Puri mai no kai ala la valu. E alu pele pulu ke kino me pulo ulau. Hana ia maka wa hewa ka waha. Puri ia mahi ho o launa kanaka ho o kani ke o. He I hona pali, penaka no hona ana I hupani. Oni mai viki mai e leo e ai ke koe na ino I koe. Pela puka aia maona, ina ino I keo. Kenya Kua, Ola, 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 Mauli Hawaii. Ola, 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 Iwi Kupuna. Ola, 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 la Hui Hawaii. Ola, 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 Kenya Kua. Ola, 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 Mauli Hawaii. Ola, 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 Iwi Kupuna. Ola, 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 Hui Hawaii. Ola, 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 Kane Kanaloa Lono Ku. Pei Aku, Papa Bali no U. Got hella Akua, I got a whole slew, 400,000 plus, don't get it confused. In tune, elemental entities. Put a kualele on my enemies. Aloha aina, aloha your mama. A rap with aina, homie and papa. Okay, ina pala pala. Anunu meka paka. I don't drive rhymes like you west to Papu aloha. Got a whole chest full of west great ships. They work this shit great. The colonies Tennessee is last day. Yo nigga Luna, get pini olala. Nana, nigga hapidi kia kino. Nana ilalo, ihiki ke kilo. Na nehe iluna, na nehe ilalo. Ke kilo ke kaula. I make it kawa, yola ke lia, I make it kauna, yola ka hu na maka ainana, yola ka aina, yola ka lani, yola ko Hawaii nui a kea a pau, no ako kiola no na kau a kau, muhina papalina, o haku a kane kau mai ka uina, yola no kako a pala no hala hau maka iole kolo pupue, Kenya Kua, ola, 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 Mauli Hawaii, ola, 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 Iwi Kupuna. Ola, 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 Hui Hawaii. Ola, 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 Kenya Kua. Ola, 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 Mauli Hawaii. Ola, 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 Iwi Kupuna. Ola, 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 Hui Hawaii. Ola, 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 Ola. Pai pai lima kako, Iulai las Konya and Kauila Mahi, everybody by a big round of applause again. Give it up for them, everybody. Iulai las Konya and brother Kauila Mahi, everybody. Ola, Ola, Ola. Yes, man, I'm turning 57. I can't even rap or nothing. It will save my life. When we get the next generation. Mahalo, everybody. Right now, yeah, I want to thank you guys for still sticking around with us, you know, in the nice malu, in our palace. Yeah, Hikino, mahalo everybody. Right now, we got the next speaker is going to come up. He's a good friend of both Imai Kalani as well as myself and the Lahui. He's a professor at UH Manoa. He's a water protector. He's a lot of things to ku'e and to help our people
and to educate and inform, and also talk about the militarization in Hawaii. So, how's about a round of applause for my good brother, Professor Kyle Kajihiro, everybody.
Aloha mai kako. So my name is Kyle Kajihiro. I live in Mo'iliili. I representing Hawaii Peace and Justice. I also work with Malama Makua and Oahu Water Protectors, and I teach at the University of Hawaii in Ethnic Studies. Aloha. I'm gonna start with a channeling FDR, if you would bear with me. July 4th, 1894, a date which will live in infamy. You might recognize part of that quote from his famous speech about Pearl Harbor, but here we're recognizing another date of infamy for the Hawaiian Kingdom. And I have to be honest, when Imai first asked me to come and speak, I kind of didn't want to because I've been so tired of commemorating dates of infamy. Hawaii has so many, and why is that? Because it's been betrayed so many times by America and other powers. But when I came today, I realized and I remembered what is so important about these events, these commemorations, because we have a duty to remember. And these events transform historical tragedy into hope, into resistance. And that's the alchemy of organizing and political education, is that it can take something that is traumatic, that is painful, and it turns it into a spirit of resistance, into a spirit of hope. And that's how a place like the palace, which is the scene of the crime, right? When the guns came across the street and pointed the Gatling guns at the Queen, that was the violence that allowed a small gang of Haole settlers to overthrow the Queen and then later imprison her in her own home. But events like this transform this space into Kipuka Aloha Aina, where you have only the Hawaiian flag over this building. This is a space of sovereignty. So, I wanted to share, since we've been talking about history and memory, I wanted to share a little bit, looking forward, message of hope and a warning. So first, the hope part. We are winning. What Honolulu said earlier, we are winning. Kaho'olawe. Even though the bombs are completely not cleared out, the island they've stopped the bombing and the island has come back to Hawaiians. Waikane, we stopped the bombing there. Makua, 20 years there's been no live fire training because of the efforts of Malama Makua. And even Red Hill, we've got, imagine that, the Navy had said for many years that they would never shut down Red Hill. It was too important. The politicians all said they would never give it up. But it was only because people rose up that the Secretary of Defense, the most powerful military in the world, finally said, yes, we will shut it down. But as Honolulu said, it's not done yet, so we have to keep the pressure on. Another thing that makes me hopeful is that in 2029, about 40,000 acres of Hawaiian Kingdom land, which are leased to the U.S. military for $1 for 65 years, those leases will expire in 2029. So this is a once-in-a-lifetime chance to get some land back for real. Those lands are contaminated and they need to be cleaned up, and the military really wants to hold on to it. So it's going to take everyone stepping forward and fighting to get these lands back. But that's a window of opportunity that we have. Another message of hope is that we're not alone. As Iulai was saying, people throughout the world are also fighting the same beast. And we have solidarity from our friends and our ohana in Wuhan, in the Philippines, in Okinawa, in Korea, all over the world, Puerto Rico, Ecuador. Everywhere they're fighting these same problems. So we're not alone in this fight. And in 2024, in the summer, when FestPac is in Honolulu, there'll be ohana from across Oceania coming to Hawaii. And so Hawaii Peace and Justice is working with others to plan an event that discusses, it's like a summit on demilitarizing and having a truly free Oceania, a free Pacific. But now I want to talk about the warning, because I think one of the things about Hawaii being under an occupation is that the military has to rule in a particular way. If you look at what they do in other parts of the world when they occupy a place, they have to employ the logic of counterinsurgency. What do I mean by that? That the prime directive is pacification. It's like keeping the natives down so they don't resist. Pacification. And that can mean everything from going and having tea with the kupuna and having a nice talk story so it just keeps the temperature low, all the way to actually killing people, wiping out villages, right? That's the last resort. But if they can do it without killing, they will do that. And so what are some of these tactics? Well, one of them is through deception, by weaving a story that militarization is here for our protection, right? When it's really about empire building. When they say that the military is a friend of the environment, they're good stewards of the environment, when in fact, ruination of the Aina is part of how they do their thing. When they can destroy the land and prevent other uses, then they can claim these places. Think about the logic of how they talked about Kaho'olawe before the PKO occupied the island. So deception is part of it. And then they will say, oh, it's China, right? As if China has military bases and overthrew the Hawaiian Kingdom. So we have to watch for these things. When that doesn't work, they will use disruption. They will spread vicious rumors. Think about what the FBI did against the Black Panther Party and the American Indian movement, where they would exploit the tensions between men and women. They would exploit the rivalries and the insecurities and fears and paranoia of different groups and spread rumors that would have groups destroy themselves. So we have to watch out for those tactics as well. And then if that doesn't work, they will also use co-optation. And they can do this in a number of ways, but one of the biggest ways is to just buy it, right? The US military has the largest budget, larger than many countries in the world. So they can buy conservation, they can buy Hawaiian cultural sites protection, they can buy environmental restoration, and by buying it, they own it, and they become the protector, and then they hire and enlist people to work for them. So that neutralizes those people from becoming opposition, right? So that is one of the tactics that they use, I think, in Hawaii, to own our movement. So we have to be careful about that, because now that Red Hill is being shut down, I think we will start to see that pivot. They're going to say, okay, we're friends of the environment. Come participate in our consultation. We're going to have this community participation initiative. So come and spend time in these meetings, just talking while they're continuing to do other kinds of destruction. And I want to underscore and make a point. Make no mistake, fascists are not our friends, right? The MAGA right-wing insurgency masquerades as revolutionary, but it's really reaction. They are creating spectacles of cruelty and rage, but really they are turning them into bayonets against those who are less powerful, right? Those are the same groups that will build bonfires and put Hawaiian history into them, right? Florida. These are the same groups that will give you jobs building prisons and military bases, right, and then put you in concentration camps in them.
Right.
So we have to also resist the temptation to see any kind of agitation or opposition as somehow allied, right? So I think it's important that we do remember and we do create this legacy of resistance. So we remember Pu'uloa, we remember Kaho'olawe, we remember Makua and Maikani, we remember Kapukaki Red Hill, and we remember Pohakuloa. They will try to say that Red Hill has nothing to do with Pohakuloa or with Makua, but we know that that's not the case, right? We know that Ruined Nation is the mode by which they control us. So we have to resist that temptation. And we'll start to see the politicians already shift their rhetoric. So if you could, to just close, I just want to ask you all to join me in a revolutionary salute from the words of the Black Panther, Assata Shakur. So if you would repeat after me. It is our duty to fight for our freedom.
It is our duty to fight for our freedom.
It is our duty to win.
It is our duty to win.
We must love each other and support each other.
We must love each other and support each other.
We have nothing to lose but our chains.
We have nothing to lose
but our chains. Mahalo. Hola.
Come on, Lahui, give us some love. The one and only Kyle Kaji here, everybody. Hola, Ikabai! Hola, Ikabai! Mahalo. Mahalo, Brother Kyle. Imai?
And everybody for sticking around with us today here at Iulai Palace for the commemoration of this day that will live in infamy forever. Thank you for all of our speakers and presenters and musicians who joined us today. We have a few more left, so please don't go anywhere. Without further ado, we want to bring to the stage all the way from Moku Keawe, who is going to be talking to us about an important issue going on with the geothermal issue. So, without further ado, Iulai Palace, give us a big round of applause. We're bringing up Ben to the stage.
Come on, everybody, show Ben some love.
Aloha, my name is Ben Cole. I actually came over here from Kaneohe, and the reason I'm here is to bring awareness of what's going on the Big Island with the geothermal plant, Puna Geothermal Venture. How many of you are familiar with the geothermal operations going over there, Puna? Somewhat? Okay. Well, it's something that the state doesn't talk about, the USGS doesn't talk about, Hawaiian Volcano Observatory doesn't talk about, but this privately owned company is self-reporting. All right, so first off, we have to rely on them to report on themselves if they have any violations. This company has been poisoning through blowouts, through hydrogen sulfide gas. They've been poisoning the community for 3 decades. All right, nobody has ever done anything about it. All right, they don't have proper monitoring, and these are infractions and criminal infractions that are documented, that there is proof beyond a shadow of a doubt that this has happened. There has been instances where they've had blowouts and over 100 people have been trapped in their homes, sick, passed out, going to the hospital. We don't know the full extent because PGV will come in and pay the people off, and that's it. So right now, they're going through an environmental impact statement process, okay? And the reason they're having to do that is because they're looking to expand their operations. They want to bring more geothermal in, which sounds great, right? Okay, yeah, we're gonna harness the heat of the earth and, you know, Pele, and she's gonna provide energy, but that is not the case. This company also, a University of Miami professor of geophysics just gave public testimony that this company had an 80 to 90% chance that they influenced and were the cause of the 2018 eruption, of where that eruption happened. There is no doubt that they influenced that eruption with the 1.35 million gallons of water that they pumped into wells 11,000 feet deep, hitting the water table at 1,000 feet. They pumped cold water into molten hot rock resource for 2 weeks, and they blew the entire thing out. It has now been proven. There's been geochemical analysis by the University of Cambridge where they documented H2O levels higher than anything ever recorded on the Kilauea volcano. Their process of generating this energy from the geothermal fluids deep within the earth requires them to drill, all right? And so they will tell you all day long they do not frack, but when they're drilling, they're using a metal drill head, high pressurized water. They're using a caustic soda, which is just a cocktail of chemicals that are designed to be an anti-corrosive, plus they dissolve rock. So when they're drilling, they don't frack, but they target the natural fractures and cracks already existing in the ground. They've been doing this for 30 years. Once they get to their desired depth, 3.5 kilometers, 11,000 feet deep, they start to extract those fluids. And at the same time, they have a well that's connected to the same resource down there, but in a much different location, that they're also injecting the fluids back in. So right now, today, they are circulating about 5 million gallons per day, all right, through this subterranean geology. This has led to what we know already is subsidence, which means there's basically like sinkholes all around that PGV site. It creates hydrothermal alteration, so it starts to turn the rock to clay, and it destabilizes the entire area. I'm here to try and bring awareness to this because research has now shown that after the 2018 eruption, the University of Miami, they relocated and analyzed over 48,000 earthquakes. And what they found is they have found 2 new seismic bands, one at 3.5 kilometers and another at 7 kilometers. They say that this new detachment, they call it a décollement, just a fancy word for a massive piece of earth, represents the boundaries of Mauna Loa to Kilauea, and it's the on-land extension of a submarine landslide. That in the research, another big earthquake event, like we saw in 1975 or in 2018, could be enough to trigger displacements of the entire thing. So, right now, I'm here with Holistic Kauai on behalf of Hui Ho'ola Aina and A'ole PGV. We're raising money for an independent EIS because it is vital that we understand what is truly going on over there because it affects us all. And that's the whole reason that I'm here, and I think that there's so much to go into with this geothermal, and there's a lot of good reasons why they keep it quiet. First off, we've been talking about protecting the land, the Aina. They're actively mining of some sorts. They pay royalty fees. The state gets 50% of all royalties off the mineral rights that they pay. The county gets 30%. OHA gets 20% of all the mineral rights. All we know right now is what they will be willing to tell us. What they told me was, when I asked them, well, what kind of minerals are you bringing up? What you talking about? Like, what do you mean? They tell us that they're paying royalties on the steam. Maybe they are, maybe they're not. The only way to truly know is to actually investigate this and to have experts with the credentials be able to back us up. Because the type of drilling that they're doing over there, it's not just putting the people at Puna at risk, it is putting us all at risk. Because God knows, if they were to drill too deep, overpressurize one of their wells and create one of these big earthquakes, which geothermal drilling all around the world has been linked to earthquakes. And this is not conspiracy theory anymore. They actually did a study on the St. Gallen's geothermal plant in Switzerland, and they were able to create earthquakes on faults miles away from where the drilling was going on. And that was with 2 injection wells. They're running with well over 20, who knows, even maybe 30. So right now what we have over there on Big Island is we have a situation where this for-profit energy company that is self-reporting, who we have to rely on to tell on themselves if they have any sort of violation or infraction, we have to rely on them to be good stewards of their job to keep us all safe. And at the rate that they're going, there's no doubt that they are accelerating the collapse of the volcano. And I do not mean, and I do not come out here to push fear or spread anything like that. Everything that I speak of is straight from research. The University of Geneva has stated that the Kilauea volcano is showing strong signs of failure. There's many other research out there to back that up. The earthquakes at 3.5 kilometers, they affect the Helena slump, and there's more movement with the slump, with these earthquakes. In the draft environmental impact statement that PGV just presented to the public, they openly state that the earthquakes that this company creates are at 3.5 kilometers. The new seismic band after the 2018 eruption is at 3.5 kilometers. We have now, thanks to AI and advancements in the technology, they've been able to relocate earthquakes. And so it just so happens that the days that they were quenching their wells with all of this water, so you got to realize they pumped 1.35 million gallons of water into 4 geothermal wells. Those wells had a combined capacity of around 150,000 gallons. That means that they pumped around 1.2 million gallons of water into that molten hot subterranean geology and blew that out. And so now we have a new detachment at 3.5 kilometers, which it is stated in the research, it could go with another big earthquake. So I came here today to bring awareness to this situation because it's bigger than just Puna. The people over there have been marginalized, they have been bullied, they have been beat up, and they have been made to be crazy. But the truth is that they are not crazy, and they need our help. And we all need to contribute, even if it's $1 or if it's whatever, because if we don't care now, it's going to be too late. And that's just the situation of it. So thank you for coming out today. I appreciate you sticking around and listening to me talk. And I'll be around. I'm going to walk around if you have any questions. We've uploaded all the information that we have currently, and we're going to be adding more to the website. It's at holistichawaii.com/PGV. There's a link to the fundraiser. There's a link to all of the information, EIS. We have expert comments. We have a University of Miami professor who just gave public testimony.
Thank you.
He believes there's an 80-90% chance that they are the contributing factor to the location of the eruption, which we lost over 700 homes. Thousands of people lost everything. And it's all in the hands of a private corporation. So there's a lot of motivation to keep geothermal around, and if the truth be told, the ultimate goal is, because everybody's been talking about the military and stuff like that, and it is a problem, because they want to run a power cable from the big island of Hawaii throughout all of the islands. So, just so you know, they've already been drilling on Mauna Kea. They've already been drilling in Haleakala. They have plans to come out here and drill into Waianae volcano because they don't actually have to have an active volcano. So they have plans to put these injection wells all over the islands. They want to scatter them all over and connect these wells into a main power line that stretches from Big Island all the way through and ends on Kauai. So it does affect us all. And whether it's intentional or unintentional, the negligence has gotten to a level, it's so blatant, it's so out of control, that the time for us to act and do something's now. So mahalo for letting me speak. If you have any questions, I'll be around, we'll walk around. So aloha, and
Mahalo, Ben. So for everybody to get ohana on Moku Keawe, and I did some research too about that. It's pretty crazy. So, we need to be active like we're here today. We gotta play, against these private corporations, right? They have no pilina to this aina, no pilina to our people and to our culture. All right, so right now I'm gonna call up. He's a translator, and Auntie Lynette had talked about him earlier. This man has been he's a lawyer by trade, but he's a Kanaka lawyer. Also talking about Hawaiian nationals back in the 70s. People never knew what he was talking about. He's still here today. So we are so honored to have this gentleman here from Waianae, Moku. You love for the one, the only, Uncle Poka Lai Nui.
Yeah, hold on.
Drop the mic already.
What was that? Yeah, let me go get you some. Hold on.
Ogano Poka Lai Nui. I come from the valley of Lualualei in Hawaii.
Okay.
First, I want to express to you a sense of continuity of consciousness. back in the 1970s, I kept asking myself, how do we maintain the consciousness of our Hawaiian nation? At that time, we would gather here, about 5 of us, and some of the names you may recall, and they would come in and out, but we always gathered. Iulai, Richard Kinney, now it's been so long I've forgotten most of the names. Kavehi Kanui Gill, what was that? Prigine, Kawai Puna Prigine, and many others. But we would all gather here, either at the 4th of July sessions or at other times, to continue to recall
I just wanted to tell you that.
the fact that we are
I might
Hawaiian
need to get a new one.
citizens, Hawaiian nationals, and many of us would take individual actions to assert this position. I didn't run again for OHA after being first elected because I refused to take an oath to support the United States Constitution. There are many other incidents, very similar, but people who would stand and say, we are Hawaiians, we are not Americans. I represented the Napi Pulava case back in 1986, in which he said, when they charge you with double murder and double kidnapping. Oh no, I'm okay. If I sit, it'll take too long. So when they charged him with double murder, double kidnapping, the response we gave was we refuse to dignify the court by even answering to your charges. We ask, who are you foreigners to come into Hawaii and charge us by your foreign laws? We are Hawaiian citizens, we're Hawaiian nationals. And when I faced Sam King, federal judge, and he threatened to take my license away because I refused to say that I was an American citizen. So we have had a lot of these challenges over and over again. So finally we came to an idea that the life of the nation is in the continuity of our national consciousness. We cannot forget who we are. And so we decided to celebrate those events as they came by, the 4th of July, January 1893, and many other events, but to recognize that the life of the nation is contained in the continuity of our national consciousness. We have had many other events that have occurred that challenges our Hawaiian sovereignty, our recognition. But don't forget that it is important for you, for your Mokupuni, and for our ancestors. When I would go back to Waianae, there were elders who still remembered Lili'okani and still remembered how they used to bow to her as she would travel around the islands. And they would tell me, I thought that the dream of Hawaiian sovereignty was dead. It had all passed in 1959 after they declared that we were a state of the United States. But now I'm hearing people talking about the nation that continues to exist. And so we give them life, we give them hope. And so it's our responsibility to maintain that quest that the nation is not dead. And so we must remember these very important sacred events. That's all I have to say. I thank you very much for your time. Aloha.
Right on, everybody. How's everybody doing? Okay, we made it, man. It's a beautiful day in the kingdom. So talking about what Kumuhino's talking about, Kuliana,
Here.
reclamation of Kanaka identity, right? This is our mainland, Kanaka, right? We all grew up saying, oh, the mainland. No, this is our mainland as Kanaka. Reclamation of Kanaka identity. Just a small story. My first name is Eric. He was a cool dude. You know, but my middle name is Kaukohu Kalani. And my last name is Vahilani. My mom taught Hawaiian language and Hawaiian studies, 1972 to 1982 at UH Manoa. And I remember asking my mom when I was second grade. I told my mom, Mom, you teach Hawaiian language and Hawaiian studies at UH Manoa, right? My first name is Eric, but the rest of my inoa is Kanaka. I'm turning 57 in November. My mom told me this at second grade. I asked her. She said, well, I like Eric the Red. And I was like, well, Ma, he's a freaking Viking, you know? But I actually knew who Eric the Red was because of my Inoa. But I had no clue who was my heroes. I had no clue who was Charles and Emma Navahi, who is Ma Nono, who was Kawikeoli. I had no clue. I grew up learning somebody else's culture, somebody else's history, somebody else's idolizing somebody else's heroes, when we had our own, and we still do, right? So like Kumuhino was saying, you can brag a little bit on the Kanaka, because we are tied to this Aina. So I say to all my friends that don't have Kanaka Koko in them, but still stand in the fight with us, I love them dearly. Because they don't have to be here, they don't have to stand with us, but they choose to be Pono. And so with that being said, I just want to mahalo everybody that are still here today, right? And by the way, our Independence Day is November 28th. That's our Independence Day, everybody, all right? And we'll be doing things on that day. Right? So there are two major holidays in the Hawaiian Kingdom. So talk about reclamation of Kanaka identity, like Uncle Leon Seal says, right? If somebody asks you, oh, where you going, Kaukohu? Well, I'm going to surf. Where are you going to surf? I'm going to surf in the kingdom. Oh, hey, it's a good day today. Yeah, it's a good day in the kingdom. What are you talking about? Then you can segue into the conversation. This is still our country, Hawaiian Kingdom. Yo? Yeah? All right. So, I want to give a big shout out to Uncle Baron Ching, who brought the big high Hawaii up over here. Pai pai lima yaoko, everybody. Uncle Baron. For my partner in crime, MC extraordinaire, educator, Imaikalani Winchester. And before we get closed out by my cousin Star, how's about a round of applause for all the volunteers that had made this is our 6th year doing this Step of a Nation. None of this couldn't have happened without the guidance and the tutelage of our Hanai mother, the one, the only Professor Lynette Ilani Cruz. Love you, Mom. And to her Kako Alakai, who is the manager for the Step of a Nation, the beautiful Manawahin in that purple visor right there with Oni Pa'an. Take a bow, Emilia Kandagawa, everybody. Right? And for all our speakers that came up, you know, my heart is overjoyed that you folks are still here. Marcus Garvey said, a people without the knowledge of the history is like a tree without roots. So get rooted. Yeah, you can hear what we or previous speakers had talked about. But it's your kuleana, yeah, and your kulana. If you really love Hawaii, if you really love this Aina, if you really love its first people, then it's your kuleana and your kulana who will do your research on multiple sources, and then you come up with your truths, right? And you can come, as Mom said, come and visit the display over here. If you guys, you know, please come over here and share. But do your research by multiple resources, and you can come up and you can figure out what is Kanaka's talking about. Right? One thing, right? There's no treaty of annexation, everybody. Repeat after me. There is no treaty
There's no treaty of annexation. All right? It was thwarted back in 1893. 2/3 of the votes in Congress because, I think it was 1898, sorry, but because of the Congress never had the 2/3 vote to ratify annexation of our country, the Hawaiian Kingdom, into the United States. They did not make quorum for those 2/3, and so it wasn't passed. Through international law and U.S. constitutional law and Hawaiian Kingdom law, only way a country can be occupied by another country annexed is through a treaty of annexation. Not a joint resolution, which later, period, which happened in 1898, the New Lands Resolution, right? And that's the fact. You guys can challenge me on that. And as a matter of fact, my Tita Kapua is coming with me to court tomorrow. Me and Uncle Puka, we're going for trial tomorrow. We already got my case dismissed with prejudice because I travel freely in my country. I travel freely in my country. And as a free person, you have every right to travel in your island, in my ancestral lands. So, we're going up against the big fish. But you know what? Yeah, we're still here. Yeah. So with that being said, everybody, please give you guys tap on your guys' shoulders, some aloha. And before Star is gonna close us up at M's, just shout out where you folks are from. Where you from? Shout it out. Where? Kauai. Mano Kalanipo, Maikai. Tita Kapua, Uncle Kaili, Waianae Valley, Puel. Brother right here in the red. Kalihi. Palolo. Brother. Yes, Uncle Paji? Honolulu. D. Cheryl. Hideki, where you from? Mount Fuji. Brother right here, where you from? Spain, yes. You guys in the back over there, where you from? Brother right there. Hello? Kahaluu? Keokaha, yes. Moku Calvin. Tita in the back. Oh, Ika, all right. Brother in the red shirt right there. Turn around. Look at me, brother, right there. Where you from? China. All right. Who else like shout out where they from? We got Minoaka from Egypt.
Tell them where you from. Waianae, baby.
Jalka, Waianae. Oren.
Waikiki.
Waikiki. Where you from? Waimanalo. All right. Kyle, where you from, Kyle?
Ili.
Lei. Where you from, Lei?
Palolo.
Palolo, my Tita Lei, who's been fighting for our people a long time. Brother, and you? What about you? Mililani. Yes, Uncle. Okay. Brother. Kapule, all right. Right there. No, right there. The one. Oh. Kawila. Mauna Lua. Yeah, okay. Who next to you? Where you guys from? Shout it out. Honolulu. Bay Area. Which Bay Area? Keaukaha? Kalikikua? Kaneohe? Cabela? San Francisco. All right. What? Iulai? Waimanalo. Okay. Tita in the red. Maui. Maui Nui Akama. Mahina. Kalamai? Persia. Nice. All right. Tita? Manila. Ona pinta sayu. Brother, you? India. Awesome. Kailo. All right. Who else wants to shout out where you from? Coolio. All right. East side over there. Okay. Pennsylvania, PA. All right. You? Pennsylvania. Are you an Eagles fan or you're a Steelers fan?
Steelers.
No, go Birds, all right. Okay, everybody, mahalo nui loa. Emily's going to say some things, and then we're going to have my beautiful cousin, Star Kaliki, is going to close us up. But before we do that, Hanu, everybody, give me a breath. Hanu. Hanu.
Hanu. Aloha wau ya o kōpakanya pau. Ems.
Okay, thank you all for sticking it out till the very end. And I'm glad that you guys shouted out where you guys all from, because I just want to give one more final shout out to the Richard K. Cooney Blaisdell Hawaiian National Archive. I really want to encourage you all to step over there and check out some of the paraphernalias and pictures and t-shirts and all the things that's over there from the history of contemporary struggle against occupation. Because this is about coalition building. All you guys are from so much different places, locally, internationally, and none of the work that we'd be doing here today would be possible without the preservation and the nurturance of all of those relationships and the recognition that all of the struggles that we're having all across the world all has the same root. We have the same struggle, all of us, against capitalism, against imperialism, against all of this, and I can swear. all the bullshit that we tired of, and we tired enough that we're gonna love each other harder, and we're gonna acknowledge each other's struggle and acknowledge that just how you are in struggle in your place, it's the same struggle that we're engaging in our place. And all the sacred mountains, all the sacred places, they're all sacred for the same reason, which is that we love them and they give us life. And so all of that coalition building, all of that intersection of struggles is represented in this Hawaiian National Archive, because all of these struggles have learned from the Black Power movement. All of these struggles have learned from the resistance of militarization across the Pacific. All of these struggles are connected, and I just want to encourage you guys to delve into all of that history. Go scan that QR code and check out the website and go pour over all of the documents and photos and all of the richness of this struggle and the love that we have for each other. And we're gonna close it out.
Thank you, Ems. Cousin Star sings. Kanaka, where you from? You in your wahine? What part? Right there. Kanaka, you sitting there right there. What part of the island are you guys from? Tahiti. Lahiki, mai kai. Rana. All right. Okay, Cousin Star. She's gonna close us up. What are we doing, Cousin?
This mele is entitled Ke Aloha Kahaku, or the Prayer of the Great Composer, composed by our Queen Lili Uokalani in that room in 1895. And she says, "Oh, loving great composer of all universe, your love is so great, and your Oia'i'o is present." As I sing this pule, like my cousin reminded you to, I encourage you to breathe and ground into this place and this time and space, knowing that she composed it for this moment to instill her heart in you through vibration and through your commitment to be here today. O ko aloha,
Hi, Kalima, everybody. Beautiful.
And now we all get to exercise. The lyrics to Hawaii Pono'i are in your program?
Yep.
Or on your trustee, this thing. Earlier I got to resonate Hawaii's first national anthem entitled He Mele Lahui Hawaii. And I'm gonna make it a bit of my mission to keep sharing it, and hopefully people will learn it. But we're gonna get to this. We're gonna resonate together. This, our national anthem.
Kuiluna yauku, kiolo yauku.
Hawaii Pono'i Nana'i Komo'i Karani'ali'i Ke'ali'i Makualani'e Kamehameha Naghawae Pale Neka'ihe Hawaii Pono'i Nana'i Nali'i Napua Muliko Napoki'i Makualani'e Kamehamehae Naghawae Pale Neka'ihe Hawaii Pono'i Ekalahuie Okauhananui Euie Makualani'e Kamehamehae Naghawae Pale Neka'ihe Makualani'e Kamehamehae Naghawae Pale
Tita Emily said, we're gonna love hard, right? Remember, as Queen Mo'i Wahine said, never cease to act because you fear you may fail. All right? You never fail because we're still here today. Tap you guys on the shoulders, love hard, we fight hard, and we're gonna yell hard. With that being said, I just want a round of applause for the Korea Sound for making us all sound good on the sound system, everybody. When we say that we love you folks, we really mean it because, you know, when I was in the Matrix, man, this day, even though, you know, it was a good day to be with family, and we're gonna be drinking. I don't drink anymore, I drink Ava, but my Ava source not here today. We all miss him, but you know, you guys could have been any place, so I speak for all of us, we really appreciate each and every one of you folks showing up today. For all those that spoke, Honolulu, Kyle, Stone, everybody that came up. Nui ke aloha yao ko pakaya pa. And for this tita right here, Ems, yes, Em.
And also just a little housekeeping. We're not gonna break down right away because we'd like to talk story over here with you folks. Learn about the PGB and our Hawaii National Archive. And also, if you would like to take a flag, if you see a flag, you don't have a flag, you need extra flags, you got a friend who needs a flag, go grab the flags that you see and put it somewhere special. And we're also gonna need some help pulling up some of those signs. So if you have a chance and you see some signs, you're gonna pull them up and pile them right over here in the tree where you see the camera set up with Oren. That would be super helpful. So stay top story a little bit more. Thank you all.
Thanks, Em. And for those names on those signs, if everybody, that's the names from all our kupuna from Waianae that would sign the Ku'e petition. Yeah, so yes, and take a look and nui ke aloha. La mai ka ia o ko pakaya pau. Aloha, everybody. Stay brown, everybody.
UPS.
I know I was built for this shit. I know that I came up with it, whether it needs to. Yeah, yeah. I know that I was built for this shit. I know that I came up with it, whether it needs to. So please don't start to doubt me now.
We weather the storms for sovereignty. With stardust, bodily autonomy. Enacting traditional economies. Aloha Aina is patriot. That's synonym for patriarchy. We in Pilina Aina pre-mana on the the air we want is something older. Like a cool summer breeze on the global warmer. Indigenous atlas, we shoulder the boulders. So before you study sovereign nations, before we employ songs and libations, we gonna decolonize La Hui restoration. Abolish colonial cortex occupation. Rising from the streets, precipitation. Cause air and air till every respiration is painting and pacing and thinking Makini no Kupuna for the liberation.
I know I was built for this shit.